Welcome to today's episode. Today I am here with teenage sensation Cloe Wilder, who released her newest album, Teenage Lullabies, earlier this year. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. So, to start off, what is your musical background and how did you come to be the artist you are today?
I honestly, I don't have a very traditional musical background. I don't come from a musical family. I wasn't nurtured into it. I just always really enjoyed singing. And so I started taking piano lessons when I was 4, and then that kind of transitioned to piano and vocal lessons. And then eventually I was just performing all the time. And when I was 11, I recorded a few covers and I sent them around to producers, and this one producer liked them. And I was flown to the Cayman Islands for a writing camp, and that's where I learned how to write songs. And yeah, that was a very formative experience for me. And so I feel like my musical journey truly began when I was 12.
Yeah, that sounds like a crazy journey, especially going to the Cayman Islands for that writing camp. That's insane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, your new album, how was the creative process?
This creative process was my favorite one I've had so far. I felt like before I didn't really have a sound. I was kind of putting out random singles and I didn't have an idea of what I wanted to do next. I kind of thought that was just what I was going to do, just keep putting out singles. But then, I knew it was time to make an actual body of work and I wanted to make an EP. And so I think what was different about this creative process is that I was just so ready to do it. But yeah, so it was a very comfortable space too. This was the first time I worked with Sam who produced the whole project, and I've just been working with him ever since. So I'm so grateful that that's the way that this project went. But yeah, it was my favorite writing creative experience so far.
Yeah, definitely. And you can tell compared to your other music, compared to this album, you've really grown and turned into a bigger and better artist. So I think that's so great when you can watch that growth in somebody.
For sure. It's really cool to be able to look back on for me too. So thank you.
Yeah. So what sets this album apart from others being released right now?
I don't really know. I think all that really sets it apart is that it's mine. And I'm hoping that the type of artist I am, which I don't even know what it is, but I'm hoping that I'm being real and authentic enough to the point that that's what sets me apart. But I don't know, that's kind of something I've always just wanted listeners to decide from themselves, because I feel the second that I go into something with an intention of being different, then it just doesn't go the way I want it to. But yeah, I mean, I hope there's something that makes it unique, and I think there is, but I feel it's something I couldn't really put my finger on. And obviously, like I said, it's my music, so I'm always gonna be wow, this is so different, but maybe it's not. So but yeah, I think that's really what it's about for me.
Yeah, definitely. So you talked a little bit about your producer earlier. So take me through your producer's role and what you learned and how your producer helped you to get this where it is today.
Yeah, I am so grateful for Sam. I mean, seriously, just this is the best producer artist relationship I feel I've had, because it's just every time we write together, I'm just so happy with what we get. And yeah, that's kind of, Sam really helped me with songwriting, I think. And that was something that I didn't even realize I really needed help with. But I just feel the open conversation about it too was what really helped. People just genuinely telling you what works and what doesn't. And just, yeah, helping. So I think that was what was different about this, was just the back and forth and bouncing ideas off of each other. And yeah, it really worked really well. And Sam, literally, I feel I owe how this project came to be, what the sound is. I really do feel I owe it to Sam. And obviously, it was a group effort, but I'm just really grateful that that's what came out of it, because I've been working with him ever since. And, my next project's gonna be done by Sam Nicholasi. So it's just I just feel this project really opened that door up for me. but yeah, I really think that's what it is, because I don't think I was like I didn't like to ask questions before. I never wanted to be annoying to producers I was working with. Um, and I worked with, plenty of great producers, but it was just different. And I felt like I was, in a space where people were like willing to teach me these things and wanted to teach me what I was doing. And I want to know everything I can about the work I'm making. And I want to be like well educated on it. So, yeah, it was just different, and it was just more comfortable, and just like overall a better experience for me.
Yeah, I feel like that relationship between an artist and a producer is so important. And once you find that just like great relationship, you just sort of have to like run with it and go with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm just so grateful that that's the way it went, because once you have that, I mean, like, that's really important to me, to have a person that I always know I'm going to get something that I love with. And that's kind of like where we are now. So yeah, I'm very happy with the way that this book was done.
Yeah, definitely. So what's your favorite track on the album?
Ooh, I think it's In the Next Life. That's just, I feel like that's the most meaningful off of the EP. When like when it's your first EP, and when you're so young, you're kind of just trying different things out, and not all of it has like a lot of meaning to it. I mean, I kind of hate the way I worded that, but that's really what I think. But yeah, In the Next Life, I hadn't really like talked about the concept of like death before, and I think I take the most pride in that song, because I'm very proud of how I presented that concept, because it's like listening to songs about the afterlife and what could be there and people dying, like that's heavy and that's overwhelming, and anytime I'd listen to that, it would just, it would kind of make me feel worse. And so I wanted to make something that was more just like comfortably talking about it. And I feel like that's what we got. Like, it's pretty and it's light, and I feel like you can listen to it and then go back to what you were doing, but you still got to think about it. So I think that's just the one I like am the most happy with how it came out, because of like such a heavy concept of being presented in such like a beautiful way. So that's my personal favorite.
Yeah, definitely. So what's next for you?
Ooh, so I'm hoping to do more live shows now that that's opening up. I have a live show on June 25th at the Mint. Ooh. So that's really exciting. But yeah, so I'm just hoping to play as many live shows as I possibly can. I'm not going to say no to anything. And yeah, I'm working on new music right now. I'm in LA now for like the next 4 weeks. So I've just been, writing a ton, and I really think I have the next project together. I don't know if it's going to be an EP or an album. I'm kind of leaning towards another EP because it's a different sound. So I want to like introduce it the right way. But then again, I'm kind of interested in like putting out a whole album, a completely different sound, and like kind of like shocking people. But yeah, so I'm just figuring out what I want to do, but that's definitely going to come later this year. And yeah, I'm just like, I just want to play as many shows as I possibly can, write as many songs as I possibly can. And I just want to be a more full-time artist. And I feel like I'm kind of there now. So yeah, I just want to keep growing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's been great to chat with you today, and I hope everyone who's listening or watching goes and checks out Teenage Lullabies and everything else that you've released so far.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I am Cloe Wilder on all the social media platforms, all the music platforms, so go listen to me.
Thank you so much for watching and listening to this week's episode. I will see you on social media until next time when I have more great artists to share with you guys. So thank you, keep sharing, checking out social media, and I will see you next time on Discover with Steph.